You understand that Andrew Nemi is going vegan because of your jerky, right? And we're on air. Welcome to the Bluff and Buffalo Bar and Chill. I'm going to be your host, Poker Ryno. On our menu today, Jake Stein, owner of TKO Jerky. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming out here. Man, we got to start off with the obvious. This was something that you've loved. This is something that you have done. And the crazy part, much like most of the poker players out there, you started this as fun.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so our business, we've been making jerky using a family recipe for about a decade.
Sure.
And always felt like it was decent, but never knew, just how popular it would become. And more and more family members and colleagues and stuff would ask me, hey, can I get some of that jerky of yours? And I would just make a batch and just gift it, And then, those interactions shifted from, I can't accept it free anymore, like, I'm gonna pay you for this. And they started building and building, and then
Sure.
I was like, maybe there is something here.
Right.
And so when COVID came around, my wife and I just decided, like, hey, let's start a business and see where it goes. And so it's been a wild ride, but
So you're saying you put the TKO to COVID and started a business and made it something your own.
Yes, precisely. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have to ask you, man, just from talking with you and seeing your website, man, your wife is so supportive, and she's a part of this.
For sure.
How is that, being a part of this with your wife?
No, it's incredible, right? So
Sure.
Our goal, make no mistake, our goal, my wife and I, is to grow this business into something that can provide generational wealth for our kids, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to be able to teach them, having a good work ethic is super important.
Sure.
Being your own boss, having your own business, and growing that business is incredible. And then I think, the financial freedom that ultimately comes with that, right? If you're successful.
Absolutely, which, trust me, starting the Bluff and Buffalo, I'm learning, every day is a learning experience.
Yeah.
But what I'm truly curious about is the connection you have with the lodge, and how you have that honor of being, they have the honor of you sponsoring the TKO Hand of the Night.
Hand of the Night, yeah. Look, there's a lot of great synergies between our little beef jerky business and then the lodge. So the lodge is has a sterling reputation. They've had incredible growth over the past 4 or 5 years.
It's the place to play.
For sure. And even when I'm traveling and playing in tournaments in other states,
sure,
I have people that will talk about Texas poker, and then you naturally get involved in those conversations, and the number one club they talk about or bring up is the lodge.
Absolutely.
And then I just feel like when I've known the ownership for a while.
Absolutely.
Getting to know the new ownership and partners pretty well.
Sure.
And the simple fact is, the product is popular with poker players because it's a filling snack. It's clean ingredients. You're gonna get a ton of protein in it. Damn good flavor, knockout flavor, I might say. And and it's not messy, right? Nobody wants to be at the poker table fumbling around with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or hot wings. You want something clean. You can just eat and do your thing, and without having to step away for a 30-minute dinner break or an hour-long dinner break,
To me, it's the perfect snack, because speaking of knockout, I used to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
So, you're on the road, you need that protein, just like anybody else that's there. It doesn't matter if you're skinny, fat, in shape, what have you.
Yeah.
Clean jerky is always going to be perfect.
That's right.
You get that, have some water, what have you. But the jerky's there, just like you said, dust it off. So it's the perfect snack. Why the 3 flavors? Like, why hot, mild, and?
Yeah, so within our product lineup,
Sure.
we've got our mild jerky that's really just like nice and savory. It's gonna have a little bit of spice to it, provided by black pepper and cayenne pepper.
Sure.
And that's really for beginners, or that's where everyone should kind of start, right?
Absolutely.
Popular amongst all age brackets, all demographics.
It's a safe, clean bet.
For sure. And then, we wanted to introduce something that has a little bit more zest.
Sure.
So we went with our hot, and that one is just, really has that same great flavor profile that you would get with the mild, but we've been able to dial up the intensity on the heat element.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's because of the habanero pepper that we use.
Brilliant.
So the hot is going to pack a little bit of that punch. It's probably like a 5.5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of spiciness.
Sure.
Hot is one of our best selling, products.
It's the first one that I ever tried at the lodge. I remember actually texting you because I was so pumped when I was at a tournament.
Yeah.
And a guy was just sitting there eating your jerky. He's like, "This is so good," and I'm like, I have to text Jake and I have to show him this, and it was so cool to see that moment, which will come to our next question.
Okay.
But just his reaction of just me saying, "Hey, I'm going to text Jake and show him that you're so pumped about it," and he was like, "Wait, what?" And then, but equally, like how cool this was. The reason I bring it up, he was so pumped that I was messaging you to tell you about, like, "Hey, this guy's really enjoying the jerky," and you were equally as excited
for sure.
that he was into it. And that's the one thing, man. Before we wrap this up, that I have to bring up is just your love of your guests, your love of your customers, the love of your fans. Like, you have such a fan base there. But guys, and I can tell you from getting to talk to this guy, the handful of times we have, this man loves you guys just as much as you love him.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, the bottom line is, like, we're a people company, right? So if you were to ask other jerky, competitors,
sure,
what do they do? What's their business? They'll tell you we're in the jerky business. I think the difference is for us, we're basically in the people business, meaning you want your customers to be like raving about your product.
Sure.
And so we have a product-led growth strategy.
Sure.
You have a blockbuster product, you get people talking about it, they hit the socials, word of mouth, whatever, it goes viral. But at the end of the day, it's all about those customer interactions. And so I'm doing, farmers markets and stuff on the weekends,
Beautiful.
Getting to interact with loads of customers face to face. They ask about production process. They ask about, where else can we buy your product? Like,
sure.
But those interactions are really special and really rewarding for me because I love watching people taste test it, and then because maybe it's a subtle reaction or maybe it's very like obvious, but their eyes kind of light up.
Sure.
As they're getting the flavors and then maybe the spice, and you see it and you see them kind of like lean in and they're about to tell you what they think, and it's going to be like a good reaction.
It's that for the poker players out there, what he's trying to say is it's that magical moment when you have a flush and it's a low flush, but there's also 2 3s and an ace, and you're immediately like, let's see what happens. And as that bet comes in and you go all in on it, your flush stands out, just like this man's jerky has constantly done, because I have heard nothing but solid praises about your jerky.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's impossible to please everybody, right? And I have had a customer tell me, "Hey man, your stuff was a little drier than normal."
Sure.
I said, "Time out." I grabbed him another bag on the house.
Sure.
I said, "Try this one. Tell me if it's still dry for you." He said, "Oh no, this is perfect." I said, "All right. Well, must have just been a one-off, quality issue, but everything does get inspected, and actually every batch that's produced is taste tested before I seal it up and serve it to end users. Like, we make sure that it's all good to go. That's another thing. It's just like the unwavering commitment to quality. So it's extremely important to me, especially as we started out, right? We were like, our business model was low volume, high quality. Okay.
Sure.
We've mastered that business model, and now we're trying to actively master medium to high volume and high quality. You know, I recognize that there's going to be a time or two when maybe you don't get it right, but that's why we stand by our customer satisfaction policy. And yeah, I mean, again, just bringing it home with the customers, the people that we do what we do for them, and then we want to continue to just disrupt the market, right? Provide an outstanding product at a reasonable price point, and I think a lot of people are taking notice to that, so it's a good thing.
That's perfect. Well, man, we've been talking about jerky so much, and here at the Bluff and Buffalo Bar and Chill, you don't just come in and hang out at the bar. You get some food and drink. You ready to get some food?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got this phenomenal feast here, and I must say, thank you, Martin House, out in Fort Worth, Texas, for getting us this whiskey barrel-aged cherry ale.
The following is a public service announcement. Excessive alcohol consumption can cause liver damage and cancer of the rectum.
That's delicious.
Let's crack this open. The only thing that looks more savory is honestly your jerky.
Thank you.
Right.
Cheers.
So the reason I chose that one is it's very, you got that nice full forward beer flavor, but the richness of the cherry, which I think ties in to this charcuterie board. Now, normally, fans, this is called a charcuterie board, but this is the Bluff and Buffalo Bar and Chill. So we're having a barcuterie board, which means we've got all these fun little samples here. Jake, if you want to hop in here.
Yeah.
So here we've got H-E-B's brand cheddar Chex Mix. We've got this lovely bruschetta, and then we've got some cheese selections. You've got a bacon provolone and a salami infused with habanero.
There you go.
We've got habanero infused pickles, traditional beer and butter, but beer and butter pickles. I've got this fun infused egg mix here.
Okay.
And then we've got some fruit. And of course, you can't have a charcuterie board without TKO jerky.
Yeah.
Which, if I may, because I am the host, I'm going straight for, no, hot's not enough. We're jumping right into Lord Have Mercy.
All right, get in there.
At the very least, camera guy Luke, do you think that I should go for the Lord Have Mercy? He agrees. All right. And which flavor are you jumping into?
I'll do a little bit of that with you.
Let's join.
Yeah. So this is kind of our flagship product. This one's got the most heat. So particular version you're eating is mesquite, which is going to have remind you of like a crackling campfire. It's going to be more smoky, earthy tone.
As I'm eating it,
Yeah.
you get the pepper flavors right away,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal. And the thing I like the most about it is you're absolutely right. Like, I'm picturing you and I having a beer,
Yeah.
if I may, and just
You may.
talking over the fire. Like, just my bad beat of 2023. Let me talk to you about that really quick over this fire.
Yeah, I mean, look, it pairs well with beer. There's no doubt about it. You can drink anything with it. But delicious snack.
And guys, I can't stress this enough, and I'm not saying this because he's right here and he could probably take me to fight. But this jerky, I chose the hottest one for you guys. But the flavor was there. And I'm a firm believer in if it has heat, that's fine as long as it has the flavor to back it up.
That's right.
Because to me, the heat is more of an accent than it actually is, the be all end all. And that's what I noticed about yours. Like, the flavor comes out first, then.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. A lot of companies, when they put out, spicy or hot products, they tend to wash out or drown out the flavor.
Sure.
And it's like, hey, if I want to go eat a pepper, I'll just eat a pepper. I don't need to buy something that's masquerading as spicy, and I get no flavor with it, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, across the mild, the hot, and the Lord have mercy, you're going to get really, really nice flavor. And then the increased heat element as you go up the stack.
So now what we're doing is we got your mild jerky.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of the beer mustard. We
Okay.
got the bruschetta. And we're putting on some salami.
Get in there, yeah.
And, guys, this is proof that literally his jerky goes with everything. It's the Edmonton seed style mustard, which I get the feeling, if I may, for all you ladies out there watching this episode who like the charcuterie, we're going to get the hot. We're going to throw a little bit of lavender cheese.
Okay.
We're going to make one for you.
All right.
That's yours, right?
All right, yep.
I'm going to grab mine here. We're going to grab you the hot. And then, for the savoriness, we're going to throw a pickle on there, if I may. And don't worry, folks, my hands are clean. And then, we're going to grab a little bit of this fig spread, just to bring out the full flavor of it. If I may be so bold.
All right.
And don't worry, that cracker's going to make it happen. And guys, this is just showing you. You can have TKO jerky anytime, anywhere. Brother,
Yeah, good
it
on
has
its
been-
own, good as a garnish, good as a sandwich ingredient or whatever you just did there. That's that was a strong move, dude. Very strong.
So, the thing I'm noticing, if I may, got a very savory, very breakfasty feel. They work together, though you wouldn't think that. You know, being a family man, being a businessman, how do you balance all that?
No, that's a good question. So yeah, my wife and I have two small boys, you know, first and second graders. I like to joke around, but there's some truth to it. They're like our chief taste testers. And, you know, it's not easy, right? So, got a full-time job, got this business, you know, you got school, juggling a lot of things. I think it really does come down to like ruthless prioritization.
Sure.
As we touched on previously, like, you know, having your partner be involved with the business matters greatly. And I think, you know, we try to scope out like every week, right? So whether it's, hey, what markets are we going to attend? Do we have any large orders that need to be planned for? But knowing, you know, when the kids are in school, they're obviously not with us. So I try to, you know, maximize any planning or prep work that I can do while they're, you know, occupied in school. And then, you know, the evenings, they're very, very busy kids. Like they're involved in multiple sports, whether it's basketball, flag football, or baseball. So we're always like shuffling them to practices and then to games and such, and then doing a late night dinner routine and then bath and bedtime routine. I think it's what I'm trying to say is in the areas that we don't have high crossover, like if they're sleeping or if they're at school, I'm trying to double down and work.
Right.
And so it is tough. It's not for everybody. Like the entrepreneurial path itself is, you know, there's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of highs and lows. And I think it takes somebody, you know, who's basically has a lot of conviction and is fearless to a degree. You have to be a little bit more risk loving than risk averse. And having that partnership, you know, if it is a husband-wife duo or whatever, boyfriend-girlfriend duo, just having that I think is huge. And you know, quick shout out to my buddy Joe Scola, who is a source of inspiration, you know, to us and TKO Jerky.
Sure.
So Joe is an entrepreneur. This guy has his own tea company.
Okay.
And they're targeting actually like males who enjoy tea, right? So
Sure.
It's
Which I love me a good chamomile tea before bed.
But the thing with Joe is like that really impressed me. I mean, he is super dedicated to his business.
Sure.
And I remember one time he called me up and was like, "Hey man, I'm traveling to India." I said, "Oh wow, that's gonna be badass. You know, what are you doing out there?" I come to learn that he's basically doing a pilgrimage to learn about all the different tea and varieties and variants of tea that he's going to be bringing in and making special blends with. So I mean, you know, and that's again, I think when you find people like that who are like top to bottom just super passionate about their business and growing the right way and being, you know, involved with their customer base, you get the best products.
That's awesome.
So,
and man, speaking of your business,
yeah.
What do you got moving forward? What are we looking forward to? We just started 2024.
For sure. Yeah, no, we're poised for a big year. I think what's around the corner for TKO Jerky in 2024, probably going to see some collaborations with maybe some chefs. Maybe TV cameo appearances or two.
Like the Bluff and Buffalo Bar and Chill?
We've been approached to actually serve our jerky as a like artisan wedding party favor gift.
Wow.
Yeah, so more and more brides and grooms nowadays, especially if they're doing country style weddings, it's usually, you know, outdoors at a ranch.
Sure.
And we've had some interest in, you know, servicing or doing like little packages specifically for wedding party venue favors. So we're pumped about that, and then I think you'll see additional partnerships and collaborations with like other large accounts, whether it's additional poker rooms or, you know, just folks that really believe in our product and want to serve it to their customers. And so, yeah, a lot of good things on the horizon. We're keeping busy, but you know, it's a good problem to have.
Well, man, I can't lie to you. I've never been a charcuterie man. I am today. I guess you could say I was knocked out of my old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. I made that joke. But it has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. Thank you for coming into the bar.
For sure, man.
Let's talk about your tab.
Thank you.